Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD's Time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state chairs high-level meeting to ensure price stability of basic foodstuffs. For the international scene, COVID-19 world latest development in the COVID-19 pandemic around the world. Welcome to our newsroom. An important meeting chaired by the President of the Republic with the theme of the rise in the prices of basic food product and the solutions to be brought to it was held on Thursday, 10 March 2022 at the Presidency. More detail with Hidayah Mohammed.
A high-level meeting on the rise of basic food products and the solutions to be brought to it, chaired by the head of state, was attended by the Prime Minister, the Minister of Economy and Finances, the Minister of Budget, the Minister of Energy, the Minister of Trade, the Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Secretary General of the Presidency. This social issue is at the heart of the current political concerns because, like many countries, Djiboutians are facing an increase in the price of basic foodstuffs. While reassuring the population that this is not only a national phenomenon, the President of the Republic assured that the government is determined to make this a matter of primary importance and will do everything to ensure price stability. On our markets, we are beginning to feel an excessive increase in prices on some basic food products such as flour and oil. For flour, our country imports an average of 47,000 tons per year for a value of nearly 2.5 billion francs. The Minister of Commerce confirms that local wholesalers currently have sufficient stock and that 3 ships carrying flour will soon arrive in Djibouti. There is therefore no reason for prices to rise. As for edible oil, our country has a production plant capable of putting on the market the quantities needed for local consumption. However, the Minister of Commerce pointed out that some traders taking advantage of the shortage situation in some neighboring countries export large volumes of edible oil. The President of the Republic assured that this situation will not be tolerated and that a fierce war will have to be waged quickly under the law against all speculators. It will also be necessary to proceed to an immediate regulation of the retailers of the food oil by putting back in place the numerous clauses system. Faced with this significant food inflation, the President announced during this meeting a series of measures to counter this inflation. The Minister of Commerce will publish the prices list and will set up a vast communication campaign. The government will truthfully monitor prices as the protection of Djiboutian consumers is an absolute priority, and all legal instruments will be used to face the challenges of speculation. In order to promote price transparency, it will be compulsory to display the prices of essential products in all stores. Rigorous and regular controls aimed at limiting the impact of soaring food prices will be conducted by the Ministry of Commerce. The mentioned export will be clearly written on food oils intended for export. In addition, the President of the Republic announced that the government will strengthen social measures to counter the inflation of food prices with the aim of helping the vulnerable layers of the population. Thus, the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity will proceed to the distribution of food to the most vulnerable segments of the population, that is to say, more than 10,000 households. The objective is to relieve these Djiboutian households facing the rising costs of basic necessities. In addition, during this meeting, the President of the Republic insisted that diesel and kerosene should not be increased. The Minister of Energy explained that our strategic fuel stock will be able to respond positively to any possible market crisis. The President of the Republic insisted that these measures be effective immediately.
Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed received today a farewell visit from the acting United Nations resident coordinator Eric Overvest. The meeting took place in the Lounge of Honors of the Primacy, and this in the presence of the Director of Communication of the Primacy, Shukri Ali Boulale. This farewell visit of the acting coordinator of the United Nations system, Eric Overvest, marks the end of the services on Djibouti soil. After Djibouti, he will be the representative of the United Nations system in Sao Tome and Principe. After a word of welcome, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed praised the remarkable work of Eric Overvest during his missions in Djibouti. For his part, Eric Overvest thanked the Prime Ministers for the welcomes he received and his full contribution during his missions as coordinator of the United Nations system. A certification ceremony for the company Amoita Diapers and Towel for Women Carrera was held this morning at the Center of Entrepreneurship and Leadership CLE, organized by the Ministry of Commerce in collaboration with the Entrepreneurship Leadership Center. The Minister of Women and Family sponsored this ceremony in the presence of many guests. The Secretary General of the Minister of Commerce, Ali Daoud, the Vice President of UNFT, Hasna Ahmed Bidil, the Director of CLE, Ubah Malo, and senior private and public sector. Thus, the Secretary General handed over the certification of the Diaper Amoita and sanitary napkin women Carrera to Ms. Radia Ali, who is the owners of the company, Diaper Amoita and sanitary napkin women Carrera. The managers of the Diaper company, Radia Ali, and the key managers expressed their satisfaction of this historical moment. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Commerce, Ali Daoud, said that it is a particular pleasure for me to be present at this certification ceremony. Insofar as for us, the Ministry of Commerce, it is a first, and it is an enthusiasm shared with the promoters who have solicited this exercise to be able to proceed to this certification. It is first of all to promote the entrepreneurial initiatives, and it is the cases with most of the initiatives of the government. For us, the Ministry of Commerce, it is to support and stimulate the commercial initiatives through the search for the quality. For her part, the Minister of Women and Family, Muna Usman Aden, explained in her speech that when it comes to innovation and development and the opening of a market, and especially initiated by a woman, which is a pride for me, it is a national brand that will enhance the productive images of our country. I thank all the promoters of this beautiful company, and I invite the rest of women's entrepreneurs to follow the same pace as the brand Amoita. The National Assembly hosted a workshop this Sunday, March 13, to develop a work plan for the Djibouti Women Parliamentarians Caucus. The workshop is organized within the framework of the Plan 2 project, which brings together the National Assembly, the Interparliamentary Unions, and the European Union. This workshop was opened by Honorable Safiya Almi Jibril, second Vice President of the National Assembly. All women parliamentarians were invited to participate. In her welcoming speeches, Honorable Safiya Almi recalled that 17 women parliamentarians form a group of united and strong women's parliamentarians who women can overcome political divisions and united among themselves to defend the rights and the prerogative of the Djiboutian women. Last week, on March 8, Djibouti celebrated International Women's Rights Day. The women parliamentarians were therefore gathered to continue these momentums within the caucus and commit to the National Assembly for all women and girls of Djibouti. On her side, the second Vice President of the National Assembly, Safiya Almi, reminded women that they must work together and ensure women's rights. Women parliamentarians are more capable than men to better preserve and apply women's rights to better serve the women of the country. The Open Day, organized by the Camp Sheikh Ousmane in the honor of the child of the private school Victoire, on the day of March 13, 2022, an open day was held at Camp Sheikh Ousmane in the honors of the unfold at Camp Sheikh Ousmane in honors of the children from the school, the private school Victory. For this purpose, after welcoming the students by the chief of the corps, the activity began with the raising of the colors with the national anthem played by the national band. Then divided into the several groups, the students went through different workshops, namely workshop presentations of the Sheikh Ousmane camp, workshop presentation of the combat vehicle, and the means of communications used by the military in the framework of their missions. The technical capacity of the technical training centers of the armies and the engineering unit were also presented to the students. These workshops were closed by the interterm session to stimulate the competitive spirit of students and to reinforce the cohesion. At the end of the activities, the students, accompanied by their teacher and the executive of the Sheikh Usman camp, gathered around the refreshment to share convivial moments. The Center for Young Diabetics opened its door for an information day for the general public under the directions of the pediatrician Dr. Abdurrahman Mumin Duxiye. This new center, fully equipped, welcomed today several hundred young diabetic patients who are followed regularly. Indeed, the Center for Young Diabetics also provided several services or benefits ranging from screening, awareness, listening, and counseling, as well as treatment and monitoring of the disease of diabetes. Thanks to an educational approach, nutritional and therapeutics awareness sessions are presented daily for young children aged to 0 to 15 years living with diabetes and their parents to improve their understanding and facilitate their adaptations of the disease. In addition, this new center has referral systems to receive all diabetic children diagnosed at the regional level. As part of the programs and activity to support and care for the most needy group, the Relief Committee of Africa and the ONG Al-Rahma in the state of Kuwait proceeded yesterday to the distributions of sponsorship orphans and needy families in cooperation and coordinations with the Diwan Zakat. The distribution ceremony took place under the patronage of the regional directors of the ONG Al-Rahma in Djibouti, Abdul Ghani Ismail Al-Quraishi, and in the presence of the Director General of the Diwan al-Zakat, Suleiman Hussein, and Abdul Ghani Ismail Al-Quraishi, in the presence of the Director General, Mr. Hussein Suleiman, and the Director of Project, Ilmi Yusuf Tahir, and the Supervisors of Project, Khalid Abu Harrag, as well as orphans and families benefiting from this financial aid amounting to a total of 100 million Djibouti franc. This generous gesture is a continuation of the tireless effort made by Al-Rahma International, represented by its offices in Djibouti, to meet the necessary needs of the vulnerable segments of society, especially orphans and needy families. In this regard, the regional directors of the NGO Al-Rahma in Djibouti said that his organization has been implementing the sponsorship programs of orphans and needy families for 20 years, stressing the facilities that the offices receive by the competent national authorities to deliver this financial support to those who deserve it. Mr. Abdul Ghani Ismail Al-Quraishi recalled that this NGO provides partial sponsorship to 2,000 orphans and comprehensive sponsorship to about 400 orphans who reside in Rahma Development Complex in Djibouti and in Obok towns, who benefit from subsistence, education, health, and other care services. He reviewed with the great interest that our Islamic religion gives to the care of orphans, quoting the words of the Holy Prophet, "And I and one who sponsor an orphanage are like these two in paradise," pointing his index and middle fingers. For his part, the Director General of Diwan al-Zakat, Suleiman Hussein Musa, stressed the tangible role played by the Rahma in advancing the process of charity work in Djibouti, saying that the programs of partial sponsorship for orphans and needy families, which is at the forefront of the project of the association, aims to meet in part of the needs of the numbers of 2,001 orphans and 100 families. Speaking about the government's interests in taking care of orphans, he said that the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, launched in 2007 the orphan sponsorship programs on the occasions of the commemoration of the Prophet's birthday as part of his initiatives to improve the situations of the vulnerable families in society. The Customs Brigade of Dekhel, in collaboration with the gendarmes, succeeded in arresting caravaneries transporting on the backs of the camels 52 packages in which well concealed mango juice and Ethiopian manufacturers, and an important quantity of the cigarette of the brand Benson and Royals, all resulting from the contraband. But while the gendarmes were busy arresting these caravaneries, they were related to a road traffic accident. It is in this context that the gendarmes were able to rearrange their equipment and staff to be able to intervene safely on this new unexpected mission. Indeed, a semi-trailer truck had lost a part of its goods during the overturns of its trailers on the National Road 1 and the level of Balam Ballet. The new interventionist device of the gendarmerie allowed to implement the necessary means for the rescue, the securing of the goods, the freeing of the roadway, and obviously the regulations of the traffic. During the same day, the gendarmes were able to intervene in different theaters, always mobilizing the appropriate means. For the international scene, COVID-19 pandemic has officially claimed at least 6 million lives worldwide since late December 2019, out of more than 451 million confirmed infections on Friday. The World Health Organization estimates, taking into the account excess mortality directly and indirectly related to COVID-19, that the death toll from the pandemic could be 2 to the 3 times higher than the official figures, while the official figures is 5.94 million deaths worldwide between January 1st, 2020 and December 31, 2021. Various studies have found it to be a significant underestimate and have attempted to better assess the overall toll of the pandemic. And to close up this edition, in South Africa, the mining sector is one of the main areas of investment, with the country being the world's largest producer of chrome and platinum. South Africa exports large quantities of mineral such as vanadium, diamond, and iron. Mineral resources remains a key sector of the economy, directly contributing over $24 million to the GDP and employing 415,000 people. The country has an estimated mineral resource values of just over $2 billion, which has yet to be explored. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.